Here comes a new challenger!
Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the banner, or at least the characters in the banner, select characters in the banner. I won't be covering everyone, but we seem to have an issue here. This is scrolling. How will I be able to analyze any character that I want to talk about? Well, thankfully, ElevenZM, has our back. So, 11, thank you so much for just taking these images out. It really means a lot. I'll be leaving a link to his Twitter and leaving it down below in the description. It'll be the top 2 links. So if you want to check these out yourself, you may. You know, it's all here available. So thank you so much to 11, because without, this is the only person I've seen who's been taking out these images, alright? So with that being said, we're just going to look at a few characters, particularly my mains, and the characters I mostly play. So let's start with the mains. So with Ryu, I find his interesting, because they decided to go with his fair, which is jumping heavy kick, I believe? I think it is. Yeah, it has to be jumping heavy kick. So they went with this one, which, I mean, it's kind of whatever. On the banner, it's cool, I guess, like it works, but otherwise it's like, I wish they would have gone with a better pose, in my opinion anyways. Maybe a Tatsu or a Fireball would have been nicer. I don't know, but I do appreciate the details with the symbols on both his gloves and his black belt. So that is really cool. Alright, moving on, we have the next guy, which is Ken. And I do gotta appreciate this detail. The clothes here are a bit ripped up. In Smash they aren't, which is kind of incorrect, because in Street Fighter, this generally is a bit ripped up. Not as much as Ryu's, but it's not as clean as with Ken's. As an example, I think I'll show right now, actually. Let me just show that off real quick. So if we go over here, as you see, it's not really ripped up as it should be. You know, not too much, but definitely not as little as it is there. So yeah, I appreciate the artist doing that little touch on. Of course, some of these drawings are a bit cut up because obviously characters are covering other characters. So you're gonna end up with stuff like this, though they do try to fill in the gaps, though with some characters it's better than others. As an example, Min Min's cover up really good. You can't really tell if there's any cover-ups, right? You can't really tell. But then you have Palutena and Bylethor. Like theirs are kind of like that's kind of sus, you know. I mean, it's an attempt, but at least it helps out for like things like making banners and stuff like that, you know, to at least have it look a bit nicer. But still, could look a little bit better. Either way, I hope we find an artist who can actually mimic this style and just like fill in the blanks instead, because honestly, it's way more jarring to have it be like that. You know what I mean? But hey, that's my opinion, anyways. But yeah, no, it's really cool. They even separated the Pikmin, which is awesome. The Mr. Saturn, some of the caricatures are separated. Though, what's weird to me, and I don't know why they chose to do this, but Bowser and Bowser Jr. have flames coming out of their mouth, and yet, if we go to Bowser, I feel like I skipped him already. There he is. If we go to Bowser, the flame isn't there. And Junior, I know he's here somewhere. His flame is also missing, which is kind of weird. Oh no, this one has the flame. All right, then why does the Bowser Jr. one not have it? Why can't I find Bowser Jr.? I guess if I spot him, I spot him. But oh no, here he is. Yeah, there he is. I don't know how I kept missing him. But as you see, he doesn't have this flame, which is really weird. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he has like a small one right there. But either way, that's kind of weird. But whatever, it's nothing to be too upset about. Next we have Banjo, who they also filled in the blanks, but this one's a lot nicer looking than most others. So yeah, no, this is pretty cool. I do appreciate what the artist went here, because like, oh, Banjo's holding his banjo, Kazooie's holding her kazooie. Get it? Kazoo. Sorry, I said kazooie, but kazoo. I also appreciate that in the banner, if you were to go to the Japanese website versus the American website has Rob like this, whereas the Japanese site has him like this. Makes sense, right? Because, you know, it's Rob. Rob has his Famicom colors in Japan and has his NES colors over here in the West. And there's a version with the boosters. Now, back to my mains. Next, let's look at Terry Bogard. So Terry Bogard's pose, it feels like Terry. You know what I mean? It basically is Terry. And I just gotta say, I really love the pose here. It's really nice. It's a great pose. My only issue with like Terry in this design, like, I mean, look, I get Sakurai was going for like a cooler look of Terry, but Terry Bogard's pants don't go all the way down like that. It's very impractical. I think in some games it does, but you know, he just has standard jeans. I mean, I understand they went for cool aesthetics, but that's about it. I mean, it's just a detail thing, you know. But I do appreciate what they did for Terry, and the art is just great. It really feels like Terry, you know. Like you can tell if you look at that image, you could tell what Terry is as a character. You can guess, right? And then we have Min Min, the last character I basically play, because I play all the fighting game characters, and again, great. I mean, the pose, there's like this, you know, every character has like an invisible line, and hers, it's like it has so many curves, right? Like you have the curve line, like an imaginary line that curves like this, right? Like a C, all right, and then you have this like an S or a Z, and you have this curve here, this curve. Like the motion, the pose is very smooth looking, which is great. It looks great. It looks amazing. Yeah. So Min Min's pose is beautiful. I think it's probably my favorite one out of the four. You know, as someone who draws and does things like this, yeah, no, great pose. Now we're just gonna look at some of my favorite ones, and I think my favorite one is probably Steve out of all of them, out of the ones that aren't my mains. And gosh, I just saw something that I'm going to censor when I do. I'll probably just censor out the art of everyone else's who isn't 11MZ's actually. But yeah, Steve's pose is great. He's just popping out of the hole there. That's great. Who else has a great pose? Honestly, the hero with the slime. I don't know. Like, I know the slime's gotta be there, but like, I don't know. It kind of feels like it ruins it. You know, you have this really dynamic pose. Like, unless the hero sees the slime, is like, come here, die. But otherwise, you know, whatever. Yeah, Bandai's pose. This is probably my favorite pose. Also, this pose right here. This is a very good, well done pose. I think, you know, it's not as great as Min Min's, but it's definitely up there. I think Mii Brawler gets some of the best art that I've seen. He's just so good, and honestly, his design is amazing. I think the Miis get too much flack for just being Miis. People need to give them a try. Except Sword Fighter. Sword Fighter sucks. But anyways, and then you have, you know, Pokemon Trainer, of course. You have Chrom, Roy. I do like how Roy and Marth's pose kind of go together. I appreciate that for Luigi they went with his the melee render, where like you see Luigi flying off, you know. So that's cool. That's an amazing detail. Some of these poses do go together. Like if we go to the website, I guess we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But yeah, like here, like Chrom and Robin's, these two work so well together, you know. Dr. Mario and Game & Watch, another great pair. Some of these drawings are just made to like interact with another character, you know what I mean? Like how everyone is going after Wario, DDD's like, what's going on? You know, that type of thing. And I think my favorite one has to be Wolf and Fox, which is about to come up here soon. But yeah, no, like a lot of these are wonderful. Let me see here. Is there they coming up? Alright, well, I'll say this. Snake's pose, great. I love it. Lucas is kind of weird. How, like, the snake kind of just... I don't know about you guys, but, like, the snake just, like, going out like that kind of looks weird. Like, I get it's supposed to mirror Ness's, right? It's supposed to mirror Ness's. But it looks wrong. Like, I understand why it's there. But why is it like that? You know what I mean? Like, I understand why, but why? You know? I don't know if I got that got that straightened out, but hopefully I did. You know, wait, what is this? No PSI? Oh, here we go. So you see, these two work well together. It's great. No, it's wonderful. I love some of these. I really do. What else? But yeah, no, a lot of this art's great, and like I said, just go to 11ZM for these. These are great. Just if you ever, you know, just make sure to credit him. I think I have him credited on my Twitter. I don't know if I do. Let's do it right now. I don't. So we go here. Here we go. I believe his @ is this. But we're gonna add this because, you know, for the cutouts. There you go. Yeah, I'll leave that there. But yeah, very much appreciated. This just all around great. 11 is also a modder, I believe. So if you have a hack switch, hey, there you go. You know, have fun with that. He does a pretty good job. I don't know. I never spoke to them, but still, they did an amazing job. Just amazing. I can't say enough. Like I said, the only thing that's kind of jarring is when you have things like this. It's like it just looks wrong. You know what I mean? It just looks wrong. So I feel, hey, you know, if you can, just try to patch it up. Maybe find like an artist who can patch it up. Cause some of, you know, like the Simon one ain't bad. Like that one in terms of patching ain't too bad. You know, I mean, it's kind of noticeable, but it's not the worst. From a distance, I guess it doesn't look too bad. Though this one you could tell. Otherwise, yeah, I can't really criticize that much because, again, without him, wait a minute, he doesn't even have the PSI here. Awkward. Pause. Yeah, that just does not have the PSI thing on it, so that needs to be fixed. Whoops. With that all being said, here's a Rockman, a Mega Man, and yeah, no, I'll see you guys next time. Again, both top links in the description. Tell them, give Lucas his PSI back, and that's it. Alright, with that all being said, take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your amazing day. Peace.